Mitch McConnell takes a fall. It's an absolute tragic update on his health. He's really not looking good. He does not get permanently hurt, which we're very thankful for. I'm rooting for his recovery. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Now, usually I do a double wide here. I don't have time to even send this to my editor. So this is going to be a one and done, super raw stream. Shout out to the Quad Club, my people that watch 4 videos a day. Also, shout out to the Quad Heads, the people that have joined our membership at $6.99 a month. No obligation, of course. Just people that want to support this channel. You support it plenty if you just watch our videos every day. You're giving me the job of my life. This is the funnest job I've ever had. Let's get right to that Mitch McConnell episode here. I'll show you. Here he is he's just having a real difficult time walking here with an assistant, and they ask him with a gotcha question, hoping he will criticize Trump about the ICE agents.
My name is Stella. I want to ask, do you support ICE taking working people off the streets and kidnapping them?
And down he goes. I do like that he gave us a smile and a wave. I'm okay, everybody. And I'm 6'8". Look, I'm 59 years old, and if I stand up too fast, down I go. So I have a lot of old people in my audience. Many of you can sympathize with an old person just taking a fall. I don't believe in forced retirement or anything like that. That's not my message. And frankly, I don't like the dog pile against Mitch. I like dog piling him on policy. There's a lot of things I disagree with him about, including some of his anti-Trump stuff that he's done. But that doesn't mean I celebrate when an old man takes a fall, people. Let's not lose our head or our hearts. I'll finish this clip up. It's got a cop. There you go, poor guy. You know, I pray for his health. If I fell down like that in public all the time, I would not be going out in public much. Now we're going to get to some exciting arrests. So that was some tragic news. Now for the good news. Are you ready for the good stuff, guys? Antifa is getting smacked so hard. They're nearly dead. They're going to be dead any day now. Just done. Here's Dan Bongino. We can and we will track you down. It's only a matter of time. Here's Kash Patel. First time ever, the FBI arrested Antifa-aligned anarchist, violent extremist. That's being redundant, Kash. And terrorism charges have been brought for the July 4th Prairieland ICE attack in Texas. Under President Trump's new authorities, we've made 20 arrests. No one gets to harm law enforcement. Not on my watch, says Kash Patel. If you guys think Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are doing a great job, leave us a comment below. So these are the first. This is proof, guys, that basically it's working. Now there's the actual facilities there and another article posted by Kash Patel. Here's a Kash Patel interview on the subject of we're going after the funding, which is going to all roads lead to George Soros, guys.
Speaking of social media, they're up in arms over George Soros and Open Roads as to whether or not his Open Roads Foundation is supporting terrorist organizations that are anti-America and goes against the better interests of our nation.
Okay, Open Roads, and I saw Kash Patel. Maybe, is this a poker tell that he kind of nodded when he said that? Mm-hmm.
So organizations, I can't speak to that directly.
George Soros.
And because I can't comment on whether or not we have an actual investigation.
Okay. Listen, guys, if they didn't have an investigation, he could comment on it plenty. So he goes, I can't comment on it in case there is an investigation. It means there is an active investigation. I'm sure of.
That's fair.
Speaking to matters like Antifa, for example, right? And the new EO that the president signed and their designations giving us authorities that we never had. What we are able to do is the one thing I've done my entire career under investigations: follow the money. Serve legal process and follow the money. These groups just don't show up overnight. You don't have hundreds of people surround a courthouse overnight and then move down to LA and cause riots and then move halfway across the country and cause disruptions in Chicago and elsewhere. It is an organized effort that someone or some groups are paying for. And what I can tell the American people is we have open investigations on multiple groups and individuals funding these efforts. We have legal process that has already been executed. The search warrant results are coming in.
They have this stuff on all of them, guys. They're breaking up which stands for anti-fascist, they claimed. They're the ones that started the punch a Nazi, you know, when you deal with a Trump supporter. And Antifa is going to get broken up. But mostly I want them to hit George Soros. Now, the indictments are coming for this is loosely tied to it. The indictments are coming for John Bolton.
Multiple sources are telling CNN the Justice Department will ask a federal grand jury today to indict President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. This would be the third indictment of the president's self-described political enemies in just 3 weeks. Good. I'm joined here at the table with a terrific group of reporters, including Caitlin Polance, who is bringing us this reporting. Caitlin, what do we know?
Well, Dana, we know now from various sources that the grand jury in Maryland in federal court is expected to be hearing evidence about John Bolton this afternoon. The Justice Department is expected to go in there and ask for an indictment of the former national security advisor to Donald Trump and somebody who is not just well known from the Trump era, but a longtime government official. Mm-hmm. This is a case where it's been in the works for years. It's been worked on because Bolton at one point was discovered having an AOL email account, according to the sources I've talked to, where he was writing notes to himself about his time in the Trump White House, and that could include classified documents. We also know from a recent search just 2 months ago that there were many documents, including ones labeled as about weapons of mass destruction, about allied strikes, things that had markings on them that said classified, secret. There were phones, computers, drives, all of that seized from his house.
That's CNN, guys, giving you the laundry list of why John Bolton is guilty.
His lawyer has said this could all be very old material from the George W. Bush administration, and nothing inappropriate was being kept by Bolton. But there is still a important possibility here that this is a very serious national security case and that the Justice Department does continue wanting to enforce cases like these. It might not be all of a political decision.
So, Caitlin, and that's really important. It's something that you emphasized. Yes.
Hold on. She says it may not be a political decision. It may be something that they have to actually prosecute just for rule of law. So there you go. Maybe it's not political. Of course, I don't care either way. But this one's even bigger. This is on the... They're going to get it. They can get them on the Espionage Act, guys. These are the most serious charges anyone can face if you're in government.
Good morning, Ariel. We believe that prosecutors are presenting charges under the Espionage Act, accusing John Bolton of mishandling classified information. That comes after the FBI secured search warrants to search his home and office and found some classified documents in that search. But it's not clear that those were related to what this case is about. The affidavit of probable cause also mentions that John Bolton's email account had been hacked by a foreign government, and the referral for this case came from the CIA. And it's my understanding that the U.S. found some information as they were gathering intelligence from that foreign government. They found John Bolton's emails, essentially, and they discovered things that led them to be suspicious that he was mishandling classified information. And that's
that must have been the AOL account that got hacked by a foreign government. Our CNA goes and spies on that foreign government and finds all of John Bolton's emails, making notes to himself, probably for his book. I've written books, and that's what you do. You send yourself emails of ideas and notes and things. And he was probably sending himself dates and things, including things about WMDs. So he thought it was private, because he had this little personal AOL account. Foreign government hacked it. They got all the information. That's espionage, guys. That's guilty. Guilty. And our government had to find it by going and spying on another government, is how our CIA found it. But another country knew about Bolton's emails before we did. Kind of bad.
Generated this case. This was back in the Biden administration. However, that Justice Department did not move forward with the case. There were some concerns about...
Why didn't the Biden administration move forward with the case? Because Bolton was an insider for Biden working in the Trump administration, and that was what was wrong with Trump's first term.
Revealing the access that the U.S. had to the foreign government. The Trump administration made a different calculation. They are moving forward with the case. Of course, everyone knows that John Bolton is a political adversary and critic of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has said, he does not appreciate John Bolton at all. There was a dispute about a book that John Bolton wrote. The Trump administration, the first Trump administration, accused him of putting classified information in that book.
Well, now they have the full-blown classified information. By the way, John Bolton, the reason why I have no sympathy for him is he said during one of Trump's indictments, no one's above the law. So anytime they say that to Trump, we say it right back to them, not in an act of revenge, but in an act of justice. No one's above the law, John Bolton. May what happened to you be what happened to Trump. That form of justice, I hope you get that form of justice 100% right back on you. Here's Mike Davis. Next stop, federal prison for felony harboring of an illegal alien. 8 U.S. Code 1324. DMPS board chair Jackie Norris ends U.S. Senate campaign after a superintendent arrest. Why is that? She was harboring illegal aliens. Same-o. Wait, here's Trump on Hamas. Trump says, if Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which they've been doing, okay, they're in there trying in Gaza. Look, Hamas's leadership has been decimated by Israel. Israel destroyed Hamas's leadership. So now they have to go and reestablish their leadership in Hamas. And what do they do? I mean, in Gaza. So what do? They go in there, they round up dissidents or anyone that worked with Israel, and they kill them in the streets, shoot them in the streets of Gaza. And so Trump is just talking back going, that's not our deal, guys. That's not the peace deal. And I'm sorry, but Hamas are primitives. It's like a cult. It is a death cult. They have very limited information. I almost have sympathy for them. They're like crazy cavemen put in solitary confinement in their weird little cult. They're not allowed to think outside of it. So these are like robots or animals. Okay, that's about as sympathetic as I can get toward them. Trump says if Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Now I'm telling you guys, Trump is speaking Hamas language. That's the only language they understand. So I appreciate that he's making it very clear to them in a language they fully understand. Our army, our troops will go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention on this matter. Now, that has gotten a lot of the isolationists, all the Rand Paul, the Thomas Masseys, this is unconstitutional. You can't say that. You know what? Trump is going to end up saving people's lives and talking that way. Hopefully nothing comes of it. Hopefully Hamas just stops killing people. If that's all it took is Trump saying that we will kill you, then good, lives will be saved. But a lot of isolationists, a lot of the, no foreign entanglements. Trump wants to protect the investment that he's made into Israel and in their future, not get dragged into another war. I think this is good statecraft. You guys can tell me what you think below. I have no problem with our troops going in and mopping the floor with a bunch of murderous, occultic animals. Here's Donald Trump on Putin. This is amazing news on the war with Russia and Ukraine. Again, we don't have to fire a shot. Maybe we'll end that war too, just like Reagan did. This is statecraft. Trump's a genius. He says, I have just concluded my phone call conversation with President Vladimir Putin of Russia, and it was a very productive one. President Putin congratulated me in the United States on the great accomplishment of peace in the Middle East, which we heard Putin earlier say that Trump should definitely get the Nobel Prize, that he loves peace. Something that he said has been dreamed of for centuries. I actually believe that the success in the Middle East will help our negotiation in attaining an end of the war in Russia, Ukraine. So instead of us arguing over how many missiles do we fund, do we not fund, what's our position, how many troops, how do we help, how do we get Europe to pay their share? How about we just end the war? Isn't that better? Isn't Trump's way better? President Putin thanked the First Lady Melania, which we did that. If you guys are subscribed to this channel, you already got that news weeks before anyone else covered it, that she was doing backroom negotiations with Putin, softening him up. He thanked First Lady Melania for her involvement with children. He was very appreciative and said that this will continue. He would also spend a great deal of time talking about trade between Russia and the United States when the war with Ukraine is over. At the conclusion of the call, we agreed that there will be a meeting of our high-level advisors next week. The United States initial meetings will be led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, together with the various other people to be designated. A meeting location to be determined. I believe they're meeting at The Hague. President Putin and I will then meet in an agreed upon location. It's Budapest, Hungary is what I was thinking of. See if we can bring this inglorious war between Russia and Ukraine to an end. Zelensky and I will be meeting tomorrow in the Oval Office, so Zelensky's coming out, where we will discuss my conversation with Putin and much more. I believe great progress has been made with this phone conversation. I think everyone wants to be in business with USA. They want this war to end. Meanwhile, breaking, officer in J.B. Pritzker's Illinois was found to be an illegal immigrant.
Let's do breaking news now. Immigration Customs and Enforcement has just revealed in the last short time a police officer working in Illinois is an illegal immigrant. Radule Bajovic works for the Hanover Police Department. He graduated from the academy in August, but he has been living in the U.S. illegally for a decade.
Now, how is it that these guys get to be a cop? Why is it that you and I, if we were illegal aliens, we probably couldn't even get a job as a Walmart grader? And somehow under J.B. Pritzker, these illegals are getting in as police officers. Wait, there's more on hiring illegals. Breaking, Des Moines Public School Chairwoman Jackie Norris has suspended her campaign for U.S. Senate. Probably a good idea when you have this kind of bad marketing. This comes after it was revealed that Norris hired Ian Roberts as superintendent, who was an illegal alien. No wonder why Democrats want to keep illegal aliens here so long. That's their hiring pool. They're not hiring U.S. citizens. They're hiring illegals. And a U.S. citizen could have had this job. Listen to this guy. Norris previously served as chief of staff to Michelle Obama. So Michelle Obama was hiring illegal aliens. This party, guys, that's why we never put an X next to a Democrat. Am I right, my people? Never put an X next to a Democrat. That's our creed. Here's more from Attorney General Pam Bondi, greatest Attorney General in recent history. She says, posted on Twitter, President of the United States has made it clear Antifa is a left-wing terrorist organization. They will be prosecuted as such. First on Fox, Department of Justice, first ever Antifa-related terrorism charges in Texas ICE attack. There's the legal document. These are promises made, promises kept. Wait, here's Stephen Miller. I've got more. How many people just realized that Democrats had as many as 20 extra seats in our House of Congress based on years of unconstitutional race-based gerrymandering? White Democrat racists. Democrats in the South face a wipeout if the Supreme Court guts the Voting Rights Act, which we covered yesterday. Look for the thumbnail on that. We're ahead of the news cycle, guys. I'm keeping you guys well up to date on this stuff. Here's the current map with all the blue areas with representation in our House of Representatives. Here's the new one. If the race-based gerrymandering ends, that is a red wipeout. We want our seats back, please. Wait, there's more. Here's an Army Corps of Engineer writing for Charlie on a portion of border wall. I like ending on a happy note, guys. Look at this.
There you go.
For Charlie. Put it up. Put that wall up. Hillbo wall. Hillbo wall. They're going to climb up the wall. And on that happy note, we're going to dedicate this episode for Charlie, praying for Mitch McConnell. Don't forget to join our membership if you want to come in and join. I'm looking for lots of members at $6.99 a month. And you join the quad heads. It's right next to the subscribe button on the front of the channel. Would love to have you as a member, but it's okay. I'll take your subscription instead, as long as you keep watching videos. I'll keep bringing you the news, working all day, all night, 6 days a week, bringing you the news. And you know what? It's not hard. Don't feel sorry for me. I love doing it. I'm Doug in Exile.